you, man.
Hey, fuck you and anybody that looks like you.
Ain't too many
fuck
people.
you
Oh,
too.
wait. Austin Powers, what's the guy's name? His brother?
Austin Powers' brother?
Remember?
Dr. Evil.
Fat
Mr.
bastard.
Yeah.
No.
Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
That's an old Richard Pryor joke.
Click to continue.
Yeah.
Fuck you and anybody that looks like you.
I'm going to start singing Mr. Bojangles in a minute.
Oh, God. Bojangles. That's a great song. You know, I sang that song one night and I started
Mr.
crying.
Bojangles.
I'm singing the song and tears are rolling down my face.
Oh, I'm just waiting for this. Motherfucker, I'm trying to get this live. Yeah.
Here he is with motherfucker.
So slow?
You say this every week. Haven't you figured this app out yet?
Okay. He already told you you're autistic. So he might, he might have to do the whole cycle or whatever the case is.
How are you, Tom?
Oh, we're on? Are we on?
How are you, Spencer?
I'm all right. And yourself?
We're live. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm great.
I'm good. Yeah. How are you, motherfucker?
You got... I'm doing exceedingly well, Nathan. Thank you for asking me and using those words of affection.
Just a warning, kids. These adult language you might hear.
Okay.
Right, if everyone shuts the F up. Right, Caleb Plant destroys Dirrell. Oh, that was a beautiful knockout. Beautiful knockout.
Yeah, that was like perfect.
What did you guys think?
I have a comment. You know, he was eating. Dirrell was tagging him a lot in the beginning. So Anthony, started taking some punishment and he slowed down, but he was giving him hell the first few rounds. And he stood up to it, which was good. So I'm thinking, against the bigger puncher in that division, I don't know.
Like Benavidez?
Yeah, definitely. Benavidez, or even if he gets a rematch with Canelo or any of those guys that have power are going to. And Dirrell has power, but he's older now.
Yeah, but I mean, considering Dirrell had been a two-time, is he two-time champion?
Yeah, he was.
He's been at the top of the game. Sound veteran. I think he had enough time off that whatever his age, he was able to like regroup with his body or whatever from the last time he fought. So it wasn't like he was worn out because he just had a fight or something, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do. Look, I like Dirrell. I've always liked Dirrell. What I'm saying is that at this point, what is he going to do? Is he going to become a gatekeeper? I mean, is he going to just be in that kind of like suspended animation of being a perennial contender? It's a tough situation here for him. I think he needs to really give it some thought.
I'm about to put my promoter hat on, right?
It's not
okay.
The Dirrell brothers are from Flint. So is Clarissa Shields. They could do a card together at the Auburn Palace at Auburn Hills, where the Pistons play.
Yeah,
they could do a fight there because Clarissa's just coming off the biggest fight of her life, and they could be the undercard, the chief support.
Right. Yeah.
I don't, and they would have to be considered like, what is it? Gatekeeper status, because you might be able to get like a David Morrell against Anthony Dirrell.
Yeah, that's right.
And then
do you want me to be honest here, without being too? I'm just going to be blunt. He's a 39-year-old fighter. He's won 2 world titles. He's had a far better career than what he ever had the right to. His brother was more talented, in my view. His brother was always much more talented.
Well, ain't he the one that survived cancer?
Well, that's the truth. That's the truth. Whether you like it or not. The other Dirrell was always better than Andre.
Anthony is the one that fought this past week.
He's 39 years old. Yeah, it is, yeah. Not Andre, Andre, yeah. I've forgotten the other guy's name, the other Dirrell.
Anthony and Andre, those are the two guys' names. The one that fought this past weekend that just got knocked out, he the cancer survivor guy.
Andre
right.
is the one that Andre.
And he's the Andre.
Is he? He's
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He survived cancer. He had some type of something. I forgot. It wasn't
Lymphatic cancer, yeah.
right. It wasn't Daniel Jacobs bad where they told him he couldn't walk again or whatever the case is, but he had cancer and he had survived it. And so kudos to the brother for that.
Well, this brings it back to like what both of you got, like what Nathan was saying. Where do we go from here? I mean, yes, the promoters
say it as it is.
He's definitely an excellent fighter, but I mean, what should he be looking at this point? I mean, at 39 and getting a vicious KO, where is he going to end up now? In the rankings, and who could he fight to keep making money, or if he keeps hanging on?
He needs to retire. Look, he's had a great career. He's won 2 world titles. There's nothing more for him to do. He's just going to get beaten up again. It ain't worth it. You've got to weigh it up with the health risks and everything. He's made enough money in the sport, He's not a dumb man, this ain't, I don't want to make this sound bad because, my pops passed away and my mom's currently has it. But they could do Dirrell versus Jacobs and have a fight for cancer or some type of
They could do a demonstration, yeah.
Yeah,
they could do a fundraiser.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your dad. Anyway, my condolences.
Yeah, that was, what is this, 2022? That was like 30 years ago, 29 years ago. They didn't have the technology. Yeah, they didn't have the technology they have now, so.
Right. Yeah. My mother and father both had cancer, so yeah, I know.
Yeah, like my mom's has it now, but she's going through the treatments and she's doing okay. My pop,
God bless.
He got it and it spread quickly, and it wasn't the treatment they got today when he got it. So they couldn't, it wasn't the same thing. Anyway, enough of that.
Well, thank you for the promotional thing, but I mean, taking that out of the loop here, he does have to consider what he needs to do in the future at this point. That's how I feel.
Yeah, if he wants to still fight.
The same fight.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, David.
You watched the same fight. What? He got his head clocked. He got his head cleaned off. There's nothing more. There's nowhere to go. I know Benavidez is a great fighter. Benavidez beat up on an old man who was passing, who shot. Benavidez is a great fighter, but it is what it is.
Okay, well, it's good for.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, Dirrell was on a pay-per-view undercard, so the pay-per-view didn't do too well, I heard.
No.
But you got to think, it was on the weekend. Right. It was on the weekend of a big baseball weekend. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was saying that, the Wilder fight.
Wilder absolutely annihilates Robert Helenius.
Annihilates.
What?
Yeah. Brutal.
I mean, this is
only a short punch, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, but he walked right into it. You could hear the sound of it when you watch the replay. It was a very strong punch. And this is what we expect of Wilder. I mean, this is a great way to come back. But honestly, he knows they knew each other very well. Helenius was training with him for a while, right? To get him ready for Fury. And, so I love the video afterwards where he went to his dressing room and he said he was sorry, and if he was okay and how much he loved him. And in the press conference, I thought it was spot on about what people don't understand about the boxing business and how people could die in this sport. And it was very, very poignant and very, very real. But that KO, he caught him coming in. He dropped his left hand. He walked right into that shot. He twisted, torqued right into it. And that was it,
Yeah, I don't even understand. Like, okay, I know it looks like it was a short shot and everything, and he went down. So people initially was like, it's a dive. But when you see the whole thing,
dive? What the hell is saying dive?
There was people that was online and on stage making videos and all of them saying that Helenius took a dive. Now, I'm like, that theory has to be thrown out the window once you've seen the guy on the floor. His body was seized up, his eyes rolled in the back of his head. I'm like, unless that guy is a good actor that needs to change careers if he is that good, then he that was an official knockout.
That's stupid. That was Wilder, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird that Wilder could get that much power on punches that don't even look like they got that much power.
Yeah, but if you watch, wait a minute, listen to me. If you watch that again, you see him push him into the ropes and he bounced off the rope. So he did that before, right? He's trying to push him around. He did it right before that. And as Wilder, as coming off that rebound, he came in and he scored. If you look at the slow motion, that head went up in the air.
Oh, without question. I knew that was like, I didn't doubt that the punch was a dive because I seen the after effects. As soon as he went down and the way he fell, I'm like, he didn't plan, like he didn't stage that. That was a knockout.
That was a KO, one punch.
Yeah,
KO, that's what Wilder does.
Yeah,
and
like
he had Fury down 4 times.
Exactly.
You know?
So
on,
I mean,
that's
you know,
bullshit. The only thing I don't get, though, guys, is that why is he still insisting that Fury cheated?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, especially with your little speech talking about your look to sounding like you on the road to redemption or something.
I know. What do you have to say about it, Nathan? We monopolize this. Nathan?
It is what it is. You know, he won. He did what he was supposed to do. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you not hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We hear you.
Yeah. I do believe that HELENUIS got outclassed. There's nothing more to really say. You know, he lost the fight to a better fighter. I'd like to have seen the fight last 6 or 7 rounds. You know, that would have been good rather than a 1-round knockout. I don't think that does anything really.
Oh, I think it does a lot.
It doesn't, does it? You know,
it puts the heavyweight division on notice that Wilder can do that to anybody.
Listen, what do you think it doesn't do anything
even Joshua.
Say that again.
The man obviously needs rounds. If you've been out the ring a year or whatever, I'm saying if you've been out the ring a year, you obviously need some rounds, don't you? I think he needed a few more rounds than that, you know?
Well, that's not his fault.
Plus, I would agree if we was talking about guys that box. Wilder don't need to be boxing. All he needs is like we can't help it if his power is that bad, it's that strong that people can't give him rounds. That was the issue with him before he got the Stavern fight. They was like, you know, guys don't even last 4 rounds with him, so we don't even know what he got.
I know it was, yeah.
Yeah, but let me say this. Wilder can box or else he wouldn't be setting up those KOs. All right? He sets those up.
Yeah, obviously.
He sees them. He sees them. He feints. He trapped him. He lured him into that. He lured him to come in like that because he thought, oh, he's on the rope. Let me go get him on the ropes. He came in and he sprung. That was speed. That was timing. That's boxing.
Yeah.
All right?
I mean, again, Wilder he's not as bad as people make him out to be. He's not no great boxer, but he's not as bad as people make him out to be. And people are lucky that his ass is the way he is, because if he could box and really box and put together them 1-2s like people want him to, them guys in the heavyweight division there'll be a bunch of body bags up in these rings.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm glad he's back. He looked good. He looked healthy. He looked lucid. His head, you know, he's not slurring. So God bless him. But what, Nathan?
Do you know what concerns me? Don't apologise to your opponent for knocking them out. They would do exactly the same to you. Do you think if HELENUIS had knocked Wilder out, he would have apologised? No, I don't get with all that humble shit.
They were your opponent out,
it's either them or you.
They were friends.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. And HELENUIS thanked them for the fight because HELENUIS made some money. That's what was going on, you know?
Fakeness breeds fakeness.
No, I don't think
Right.
there's anything really
I do
fake
believe
about
that if he
Wilder.
was to fight, no, that's your opinion. But
Yeah.
anyway, I do believe that he'd do this. He would destroy Joe Joyce. He'd destroy Joshua. I'm not sure what he would do with Usyk. I think he beats everybody else bar Usyk and Fury.
What about Ortiz? Isn't he not Ortiz? What's his name? He's mandated to do
Joe Joyce and Joshua.
No, not Joshua. Andy Ruiz, isn't it? Andy.
Ruiz. You know what? I think
yeah.
that's going to be a tough fight for him because if he's not careful, he's going to get countered. And we know Ruiz can hit better than HELENUIS, hit better than any of those other guys. No.
Yeah. Well, he also is going to get hit.
Ruiz is getting knocked out.
Ah.
He should do, yeah, he should do. But this fight may go 8 or 9 rounds, you know, with how awkward Ruiz is. But Wilder has to end it early. He has to hit him some of it early. Otherwise, he ain't going to win the fight.
Like, I don't
have to get him out early. Seriously.
I don't think Ruiz is going to like buckle Wilder with a body shot. So that means he would have to get to Wilder's chin. And in route to trying to jump up to get to Wilder's chin, Wilder's right is going to be right there and continuing lifting him off his feet.
What I think would happen is, watch my hand carefully, is Wilder would throw one of them looping punches like he normally does, and as he goes in, Ruiz will counter him with something. He'll walk into something that Ruiz put. He's got to watch out for that. So as soon as he hits him, he needs to get out and start boxing, and then take him out again. He's not going to be able to walk straight through Ruiz like he did with HELENUIS. He's going to have to box him for 4 rounds, then he's going to fire him in, and then knock him out. That's what I think will happen.
He might have to do a Ortiz.
Judging what he did with Ortiz, he's going to be very cautious and try to counter, you know, during punching. But the thing is, again, is that Wilder, you don't know exactly when or where the punches are coming from. I mean, he's so fast and so awkward, and we'll see. I don't know. It's hard. That would be a good match. We'll see what happens.
Before we move on, Joshua needs to stay the hell away from Wilder because that will be the end of his career if he goes anywhere near Wilder. Seriously. He doesn't have the skills to beat Wilder at all. He's a walking body bag.
Well, he's no longer being protected. I mean, who are they talking about him fighting now? Who's
Areola.
Areola. Now, why?
Yeah, because he's easier. Because he's easy. He's an easy moving, slow moving object.
That's Areola is a confidence builder. I mean, I wouldn't find too much fault with AJ coming back after 2 losses to try to fight Areola. Especially if Areola tries to come in like he did against, what was it, Ruiz?
Yeah, Ruiz.
Yeah, he's going to have
he looked kind of slim and trim, ready to fight and all of that. So if Areola comes in like that, it should be an interesting fight. I don't think he wins, but...
What I'm saying is with Joshua, his career, I'm so glad he didn't take the Fury fight because it's a third fight he would have lost, and I don't think he could have come back from that. I think if he comes back, has a few easy fights like this without getting hurt or getting knocked out, then he can get his confidence back, you know?
Well, AJ ain't going to be around too much longer anyway.
Who?
AJ not going to be around too much longer anyway. He might as well cash out on the fights that he got up ahead.
That's my
opinion. You know what? He's had a great career. You can't knock the guy. And if he was to cherry pick his way to another title shot, I wouldn't blame him. To wait for one of the belts, you know, I wouldn't blame him. He could still win a world title once some belts become vacant, which they will in the next year.
I mean, he could win a world title once, like you said, once the titles become vacant. He could beat Dubois now and win the title. But
yeah, he could get in there, fight Daniel Dubois and win a world title now. But it is what it is, you know. Everyone has their time, and we've got new blood coming through, you know, like the Makhmedovs, all these guys, you know. In about 2 or 3 years' time, they'll be the champions, you know.
Yeah, he had his time in the sun.
That's right.
Yeah,
and made a couple of $100 million on doing it.
So got a lot of sunshine.
Yeah.
If he got out now, if he had 2 more fights, comfortable, winnable fights, fought for a world title, won it, and then fought somebody good and lost, you know, he can't. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame anyway. Joshua will, you know.
Well, let me say this: I'm tired of talking about Anthony Joshua because
move on.
He lost the 2 fights. Fine, he won't fight Fury. Now, whatever. There are better fights to be made for it. But anyway, he's being protected, I think.
Okay.
In this match.
Clarissa Shields.
Yeah, baby.
Beats Savannah Marshall by unanimous decision. No way was that a unanimous decision. I watched this fight, and it was some of the rounds were close. It wasn't as dominant, you know.
Wait, what?
Shields could have had her out of there in the first round. She could have had her out in the first round.
You said it wasn't a unanimous. You disagree with it being a unanimous. You don't think Clarissa Shields won?
It was a little. The rounds were a little bit closer than what the scorecard suggested, in my view.
I think what it was is that the rounds and I don't know what you've seen on your end over in the UK, but from my camera angles, what they were showing here, Clarissa Shields won 7 rounds to 3, in my opinion. That's not that close. But I could say that there was like maybe 1 or 2 rounds with like Savannah came on early, was looking real good in the beginning part of the round, and I think Clarissa Shields stole a round. So maybe you can still give those to her, but I didn't see it that close.
I think.
Yeah, carry on.
I think I watched the fight. I think that Savannah gave Clarissa, I believe, her toughest fight. I mean, she did connect with some very strong punches early on and did do damage. You could see it on her face. But as far as the amount of blows landed, it was definitely in favor of Clarissa. And she continued. I think there were a few rounds that could have gone to Savannah, like you were saying, Spencer. But I don't think it was
Savannah
as
is
close.
an elite fighter. Both fighters are elite fighters, right? I believe that Clarissa Shields is the best woman boxer I've seen in my life. And she is. She's damn good. But I believe that she can go on, move up to super middleweight again. Does she still hold any belts at super middleweight? I know she won a title there, didn't she?
Yeah, that's where she started out at.
Yeah,
and she won a title at super middleweight, didn't she? Yeah.
She wants to retire. I mean, it's another big payday for her if she wants to take it. But she wants to have a family.
Clarissa Shields?
No, Savannah.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, I think Savannah can do,
he was talking about Clarissa going up to super middle.
About Clarissa should move up a few more weights. But I also believe this fight could happen in a few years. Shall I tell you why? Because Savannah she's so big at the weight. How she made the middleweight limit, I'll never know. She'd be more suited to fighting at super middleweight or light heavyweight. I believe she'd be better at the higher weights.
Well, that's possible.
She could even win a world title at heavyweight.
It's funny too because the light heavyweight, one of the top ranked light heavyweight people, Shields already beat, and Christina Hammer, and one of the top super middleweights, actually the 3-belt champion, Clarissa beat on her first fight in the pros.
Yeah,
right.
So
I don't know
when I say this, I believe that Savannah Marshall is good enough to win a belt at light heavyweight, super middleweight, and heavyweight. She could go up and win those belts because there's no real talent up there.
Now, let me just correct what I was saying. I think Clarissa clearly won the fight. I don't think that Savannah showed a bad showing or anything like that. I think just that Clarissa edged it. Clarissa even acknowledged, like, yo, homegirl hits hard. Like, she rocked me one time, and I couldn't even see out my eye.
And the eye was swollen, you know.
Yeah, like she said she could punch hard. So, and she acknowledged that was her hardest fight that she has ever had. So, you know, like, you know, it's no knock on Savannah. The best fighter won on the night. Savannah could hold her head up high, knowing that she gave a good effort. It wasn't good enough to win the fight, but she gave a good enough effort that mostly everybody else that she would have fought that night, she was going to beat.
You know what? If anybody in her corner says she was thinking about retiring, if she's thinking about retiring, she's making one hell of a mistake. Don't retire because of one loss. She has to keep going. She's got more world titles to her. She's still an elite fighter. You don't give up after one loss. That's not what I want to see. I want to see her get back in the ring. She lost, so what? She can learn from it.
All right.
You know?
Hey, listen,
That's why.
I don't agree with the retiring after a loss either.
It's nonsense.
You know, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Again, as you said, like there's so much. The fact that they made that fight so big, her star status should have risen a lot now. So, like, you know, she should ride the wave of all of this popularity they get in, and you know, maybe they could get
let's
into
be
another
honest,
fight.
in these other weights that she's not in, there's no real talent in those divisions. Really, there is, but there isn't. So there's plenty of belts she can pick up at light heavyweight and super middleweight. You know, she ought to clear the belt, win a couple of belts at middleweight, super, then at light heavyweight. That's what she should do, in my opinion. Go through the weights, you know.
Yeah, she could definitely redeem herself. You know, women's boxing is still kind of in its infancy.
But the sad thing about women's boxing is, you remember that Natasha Jonas? She lost like loads of fights. Then she went at free weights and won at super welterweight. Now she's in a unification next week or in some time in November.
And it's funny because the other champion in her division, Terry Harper, had just got rocked by Alicia Baumgartner at super featherweight. At super featherweight, she jumps up to super welterweight and wins the title. She jumps up. What is that? What is that? Lightweight, super light. That's like 4 divisions. She jumped up 4 divisions.
She went from whatever weight, featherweight or whatever, to super welterweight.
Yeah, she went up 4 divisions. That was crazy.
But it just proves that Savannah Marshall can do the same bloody thing.
Yeah, but does she want to? It's up to her. Maybe she sacrificed for so many years. She wants to have children now. That's what she's saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just telling you what she said.
Wait. Did you just say Savannah, Nathan? I thought he was talking about Clarissa just now.
No, Savannah.
Yeah, she could move up. She could move up. So wait, who's she in a relationship with? Anybody famous?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I know that I was mentioned, but I didn't take note of it.
Okay. I mean, listen, if that's what you want to do, fighting might not be in line with having babies. So
especially getting hit in the stomach, right?
Yeah, so she might need to take a little time off if you do want to have kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, in other news, JAZZA Dickens has won the illustrious IBO World Featherweight title.
Wait, hold up. Wait, Nathan, not to cut you off, but we're not going to talk about the other ladies?
I missed some.
We can talk about it after this.
Okay.
Yeah, so he wins the IBO title for what it's worth.
Oh, you mean Jazzy?
JAZZA Dickens.
Yeah, he's a tough customer, man. Did you see his nose? It was on the other side of his face.
I did, yeah.
What's it called? Did somebody just win the IBO super welterweight?
Yeah, JAZZA Dickens. The guy who lost to Dickens.
Wait. So who did Eggington just fight?
He beat him. He beat Eggington.
I thought it was Hogan that won. I thought
that was super welterweight. Dennis Hogan beat Sam Eggington at super welterweight for the IBO title.
Yeah, that's what I just said. This was at featherweight. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I thought I knew another IBO title fight was just passed. All right. So what's next to JAZZA?
Talk about probably a bigger fight, against the real world champions. Possibly a rematch with Kid Galahad.
Yeah, and because Kid is coming off a loss too, so
yeah. But he made the ill-advised move up to lightweight. He went up 2 weights.
He jumped 2 weights.
Ooh, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I could see JAZZA Dickens giving a rematch to Kid Galahad. I don't see why not.
If there's money to be made, that's what it's for. That's why they call it professional boxing, not amateur boxing.
Yeah.
Right,
it's for the prize.
Let's talk about Spence. What was the other women's fight? I've forgotten.
Alicia Baumgartner versus Michaela Meyer.
Yep. It was a good one. It was close.
Yeah, that was close. I could see a draw. Like if somebody would have had it a draw, I could see that. I don't think it was a robbery. Like Maya was trying to put it out, and anybody that thought Maya was winning said it was
Well,
a robbery. I think it was a close fight. I had personally gave it to Alicia 6-4. Like two of the judges gave it.
yeah, it was that close. Really, it was really that close.
Yeah. So
She just outlanded her, But in the beginning, she got rocked a couple of times. So that's probably why she feels that it wasn't that close.
yeah, like Alicia won the first 3 rounds. Maya won the next 3 rounds. And then in the last 4, it was one of them was it was super close, but I had gave it to Baumgardner because I think she ended the round winning. So I probably gave her a little bit more because she closed out the round effectively. If it was out the 7th or 8th round, one of those. But it was, like I said, it was a close fight. It was good. It was good for women's boxing. The whole card, they said it was over 2 million views on Sky Sports, which I suppose is a good thing. Since they only got 60 million people in the country, 2 million watching the fight is a good thing.
Right. Well, that segues into the thing we were talking about, you and I, Spencer, about, what fighter. It was Katie Taylor who has the most
The marketable.
The most marketable, and what happens to cause that? And if that's true, I mean, she's being the most marketable. That's pretty good for women's boxing, to be honest. I mean, it's great, actually.
I was saying in the post, I'm curious as to how they judge marketability. Like, what is it that what criteria they're using to determine this? Because it's possible she's a well decorated female boxer, which is new. It's a new thing.
But it's more than that. It's social media views. It's
I don't want to see an all-women's card again. I just want to see them. I'd rather see mixed cards, a couple of male fights, a couple of female fights. I just don't like the idea of this all-female card.
So would you prefer to see females fighting males at the same weight or catch weights?
No. What I'd prefer to see is women's fights and men's fight on the same card rather than having their own cards. To me, it's wrong. It just feels wrong.
Okay, well, that's fine. You're not the only person who feels that
spread the fights out a bit more, Right.
Well,
all right.
To be fair to the ladies, men have been having a bunch of cards without the ladies on it for years.
There you go.
So let them have their own card once or twice without the men.
Well, they're at the point where they could do it now,
opinion. I don't agree.
Yeah, and just imagine the two. This one obviously did well because it had a bunch of viewers on it. The other big fight this year between Taylor and Serrano, that also did well. Headlined the MSG card, so they're moving up.
Mm-hmm. And so what? Let it happen if it's going to happen. I agree. And mixed martial arts had something to do with that too, because they have a lot of female fights.
Next on the agenda, this is a dead fight. This is a horrible fight. Tyson Fury will be defending the WBC belt against Fury-Chisora.
I don't think it's a bad idea because it'll keep Fury active, and then for a big showdown with one of these other guys.
I think it's great that he's fighting, but I'd rather he'd got Manuel Tron. At least it's somebody he hasn't beaten before. I know he would have won, but it's somebody else, isn't it? It's somebody different,
Well, you could say that for the Wilder fights too, but I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I just don't see the point of having a third fight with this man he's beaten 10 years ago. It's regressing in my view. I know he needs a title defense. I would have liked to see him choose somebody else in the WBC rankings,
To be fair to Tyson Fury, he's doing what he's allowed to do. He's not breaking any rules by fighting Dirrell, because Dirrell is ranked in the top 15 by the WBC. He's older. He could get a voluntary defense, so he could choose his voluntary.
And he's available.
Available. Yeah. The issue isn't. I think the issue is a combination of he already fought him a couple of times. No, Chisora hasn't looked impressive in his last couple of fights. He's
No, but
been
he got a win.
yeah,
Yes,
he
that's
got
right.
he got a win over Pulev in his last fight. I mean, it was a close fight, but he got a win
Well,
over Pulev. But it's a fight that what it is everybody was anticipating either Usyk or
yeah.
try to get AJ. And once the AJ talk was being discussed, it kind of like excited a lot of people. And then for you to switch from AJ to going
Well,
to a guy that AJ manages,
yeah.
it's like, okay, why you didn't get the chance to fight AJ again?
Why
Don't
was
get
it?
me wrong. I respect Fury as my favorite heavyweight. I'm saying it's good that Fury's getting out and he's fighting again. I'm glad he's defending the title, but I just would have loved if it had been anybody else or Wallin or someone like Charles, I wouldn't have questioned it. It's somebody new, it's somebody different.
Well, I think he needs to stay active, and this is a good way. And plus, they both make money. It's
But to be fair to him, Vladimir Klitschko fought some. Vitaly Klitschko fought some weak opposition as well, didn't he? When he was champion. So we could give Tyson a pass, I guess.
He fought what was there. It's not his fault. He fought who was there at the time. That's all you can do. That's that's out of your control. For the
Do you
most
remember
part.
that fat guy he fought? Is it Solandis? Olias Solandis? And he fell over and tore his calf or something. I'm not sure. He had a leg injury.
I don't remember.
Okay. So, yeah. And there's another fight on this card. But before we go to I suppose it's fair enough that he gets another defence. So 2 title defences in 1 year is not too bad, is it, really?
No, it's great.
Again, he's not doing anything he's not allowed to do. He's not breaking any rules. They didn't actually skirt anything for him. They didn't place Chisora in the top 15 conveniently so that he could fight him. He was already there. So, it's just a letdown on the fight that we didn't want to. A lot of people didn't really want to see Chisora versus Fury 3.
No.
Especially, a trilogy fight usually goes when one of the fights were close.
Yeah, none of the fights were close.
Right.
Did you see the first fight 12 years ago? It wasn't even close.
After the fact. I didn't see it when it was aired, but I seen it after the fact. Yeah.
I watched the second fight 2 days after it originally happened, 9 years ago. I think it's crazy that both these guys, we look at Derek Chisora. If Derek Chisora had got himself in gear with the dedication he's got now 12 years ago, he could have had a very different career.
Well, but thank God he's still able to make some money at this late stage of the game, and hopefully he doesn't get.
I think once he loses this, he needs to either retire or just fight British European level. People who are a lot lower level.
Well, I think he'd probably retire. Now's a good time to retire.
I mean, him and Dave Allen would be a good fight. That could be a pay-per-view.
Nah. I don't know. Dave Allen would probably get knocked on his ass.
Yeah, he ain't fight. Might not
the
get
next fight.
Chisora wants millions per fight now.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
What
the
did you
next
say,
fight
Nathan?
on this card is Kevin LERRANA will be fighting against Daniel Dubois in his first defence. This is a fair enough. This is a good first defence for Dubois.
It is, but he's got him. He's out. He's bigger and he's stronger than Lerrana. Lerrana has in his favor being a southpaw and is a good boxer, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold off Daniel.
Look, I'm going to give Dubois a lot of slack here because of his age and his experience level, and he's still working his way into being the champion. So we're probably going to see 3 or 4 of these kind of defenses before he fights someone. I don't mind that, because he's young and he's only getting better, isn't he?
I like to see. I like to see him. I like to see a rematch with Joe Joyce sometime.
Yeah,
probably in the future.
No. Joyce, in maybe a year or two, Joyce would have slowed down and regressed enough that he could be, just highly likely.
I mean, Dubois wasn't doing too bad until he got his eye broken.
Yep.
I do believe that fight was made far too early for Dubois. It was made far too early. nearly cost him his career, you know. So now they have to be careful. Make as much money as they can for him, make as many defences as he can before he has to fight the WBA Super Champion, you know. That's what I believe. So if you have two and a half years or 3 years of fighting easy people, I'm okay with that, you know, or slightly better people.
Well, I agree.
We not talking about Devin Haney?
No, not yet. But we should.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that now. Devin Haney wins a comfortable decision against Kambosos.
Well, yeah. I watched it in the early rounds. Kambosos landed a few times early on, but eventually Haney started slowing him down and busting him up really bad towards the last 4 rounds of the fight. But he stayed in there and he tried, but he was just, I mean, he's a great fighter, but Haney is on that other level now, you know, and he's only going to get better. So I'd like to see him move up, you know, give up and maybe go up and fight Lopez. That would be a good one. Lomachenko is not going to move up. So Lomachenko fights this weekend, I believe, right?
The 29th, next weekend.
Oh, next weekend. So, so at this point, where does he go? Can he keep defending at lightweight as he's growing? I don't think so. So I think he's better off at this point just after this fight, moving up and giving up the belts. And that'll open things up for Shakur and open things up for, you know, other people. And then the lightweight, there'll be a lot of good matches to be made at lightweight, you know, to unify the belt again.
Haney will probably, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. He got one more fight on the top ranked deal. So Bob Allen is going to probably try to get one of his fighters to get the belts.
Yeah, of course.
So he might try to get Lomachenko to fight Haney. But
that would be good though. That would be a good fight.
Yeah, if he and Haney could beat Lomachenko, then
that's an if. That is an if.
Yeah, if Haney could beat Lomachenko, then I mean it's going to be a difficult fight for Lomachenko.
For both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, styles make fights.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Haney because of the movement that
Lomachenko
has.
Yeah, but he's bigger than Lomachenko and he's fast. So
right. So I was going to say that movement might slow down Haney's attack on him.
Yeah,
but it's we're going to see because Haney's fight. The first fight he used the jab, like he mainly won with strictly just fighting with the jab. This fight, he used the jab, but he was trying to show other things. Like I could win with my right hand too.
But the way you handle somebody like Lomachenko is with the jab.
Yeah,
that's how you handle all that movement and all that stuff. You just stick him at the end of the jab.
Yeah, keep him at the bay.
Yeah, but don't forget, Lomachenko's angles are very difficult to defend against. He gets you from all kinds of angles. So it'll be close. I think it'll be close. I don't think there'll be a KO, but it'll be a great fight.
Yeah.
And plus we got to see how Lomachenko has responded to his injuries.
Well, remember, he had the 2 fights since he came back from the shoulder surgery.
Yeah, and he won comfortably.
Okay, well, we'll have to see how he's doing.
I want to see I think this might have helped him having all of this time off or whatever the case is, gave his body a chance to fully heal. Not that he was hurt last fight out, but it just, you know, all that wear and tear that he was doing, you know, being away from the gym, having to train and all of that, giving the extra hard training, you know, his body was able to recuperate in his time off. So we might see a really good, rejuvenated Lomachenko against Ortiz.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. I hope for a good fight, like I always hope. I mean, I hope it's not a lopsided fight where Lomachenko just goes and reasons through the guy. I would like to see challenges.
Yeah, I forgot that he had 2 fights since. I thought it was only 1.
Yeah, he had fought Comey and Nakatani, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, he definitely deserves a title shot. I mean, people will avoid him if they can, but I mean, he is the former champion. He
No, he
deserves it.
definitely deserves the shot. It's like I said, it's a balance of what he has one more fight on Top Rank deal. Is Bob gonna have him fight what's it called? Lomachenko, or is he gonna have him go up and just move to 140 and fight one of his 140 guys and like Ramirez or Teofimo, somebody like that.
Right. Well, on a change of subject here, it looks like Bud is going to fight December 3rd, isn't he? And this thing is up for grabs now.
But yeah, somewhere around there, December, somewhere.
I mean, what the hell, man?
Yeah, this is a weird one because I've been battling with this news all day since I've heard it. Because at first, as you've seen on the thing, it was news that they were going to be fighting in February, the week of the Pro Bowl. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then the very next news that drops, Bud got a fight announced. I'm like, wait a minute. I just read that he was supposed to be fighting in February. And then when I looked at my news feed again, it says Bud got a fight against Avanasian. Mind you, Avanasian isn't a bad opponent. You know, like, he the Euro champion. So, you know, like he's ranked by the WBO. Bud's last fight was against the mandatory, so he's not due to fight his mandatory next. So, you know, it's not a bad fight. It's just not what everybody was wanting and was expecting.
It's crazy. I don't know what's going on.
And
I have no idea.
With the details, it's like this is some new app. It's not really a new app because it seemed like it's been around for a couple of years now, but it's new to me. I ain't never hear about it before.
Neither have I.
And it's a $4 subscription to the app, but the fight is $40 on pay-per-view. I'm not sure if Bud was trying to like help his negotiations in the Spence fight, because now he got $10 million to fight Avanasian. He could go to Al Heyman and them and like, I got $10 million to fight this guy, so y'all gonna have to give me at least $10 million to fight Errol Spence. You know,
well,
like,
yeah.
But if the pay-per-view flops and he only do like 10,000 buys or something, that might not be a good look either. Like, they're like, dude, like we was about to give you 70-30. Now we giving you 80-20 or something like that.
70-30, was that what they were offering him?
I don't know if that was it. I was just saying, like, I think it might have been 60-40, but
hey, you know, 60-40 is a lot for a big gate. You know?
Exactly. Like but I still have hope that the fight happens before the summertime next year. It's just weird.
But before they reach senior citizen age.
Yeah, because it's just weird because Errol Spence, as soon as he heard the news, he like, yo, this dude, he don't know, man. I've been trying to make this weight. It's killing me to make 147. So he said he moving up, Errol Spence.
Well,
You know what, brother? It's not favoring us.
Well,
if it favors
guys,
Bud, they
I've
make
added
money, fine.
a new segment today
Okay, cool. What?
called the luckiest boxer who ever lived. And this man was a banker, and his name is Calvin Brock. Do you remember Calvin Brock?
I remember the name, the luckiest boxer that ever lived. Okay, why is he the luckiest?
Who fought a bunch of nobodies and got a title shot to the illustrious Vladimir Klitschko and lost in 6 rounds.
So why is that lucky? Because he was a banker?
Right.
I don't follow.
Because he was a very bad fighter who got very lucky.
Okay. Yeah, well, there's a lot of them like that.
Right, in the next segment, on Saturday night, James Mackenzie Morrison will be fighting Robert Sims.
What happened there?
I said Peter McKinley was a lucky ass fighter.
That's right. Peter was.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then he was Mike Tyson's comeback fight and got millions.
That's right.
All he was Mike.
Yeah, that was in England, wasn't it? No. 95, I remember that. Was it 95? Yeah, it was 95, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, when he first came out of jail, he was.
I remember watching it on telly, and obviously Tyson came out as a Muslim, didn't he, when he came out of prison? And he beat the shit out of McNeely. McNeely was giving him so much shit in the press conference. When he got knocked out, I just laughed. I just thought, dearie me.
Tom, did you ever see the movie The Great White Hype?
Yeah, I love that movie. I love that movie.
The Peter McNeely story reminded me of that movie so much. I'm like, they picked a guy, some dude, rock star guy that's playing in the grunge bands. It was like, you're gonna be our next opponent. We're gonna build you up to be somebody you're not.
Damon Wayans was great in that too.
I think that was more of a take on the Jerry Cooney situation. But it fit perfectly.
There was another thing. You know this Great White Hope movie? Was it James L. Jones that played Jack Johnson in this movie? Am I right? Or is that a different movie?
What movie is
played Darth Vader?
Yeah,
the
James
really old
Earl
black
Jones.
guy.
Yeah.
Was it that one?
Yeah, James Earl Jones. Yes.
Okay, I remember watching that film.
The Great White Hope.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
It's a new one. Yeah.
And do you guys remember when Tommy Morrison, we'll come to his son in a minute, he fought some guy out the crowd, Thomas Shawshek or whatever his name was. And then
I
he
remember
was meant to be a
something about
title
that,
fight.
yeah.
I remember the story.
Yeah,
I don't fight.
So basically, his opponent pulled out of it. The WBO didn't want to sanction it because this guy had a really bad losing record. They got him in the ring, and they refused to sanction it.
I remember that.
Anyway, in other news, Tommy Morrison's son, James McKenzie, because he's got two sons, is fighting Robert Sims for the WBC United States title. This card is full of some famous names here.
Yeah, the Sons of Legends.
Isn't Steve Cunningham on that?
His son.
Junior. It didn't say Junior.
Is that his son?
Yeah, all of these guys is juniors except Tommy Morrison. Roberto Duran.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was the other one?
Gerald McClellan's son is on this.
Castillo. The dude that fought. The dude
Jose Luis Castillo.
The one that people Floyd lost to.
All right.
Ricky Hatton, yeah. And also on the card is a name which I did not expect to see. Gerald McClellan's son is on this bill, isn't it? I was shocked at that. I thought
I didn't even realize that. Man. Okay,
that
so they got 5 kids on there.
Yep.
Yeah. But Gerald McClellan Jr. is 34 years old. He's no young man. I tell you that, you know, have you seen a picture of this guy?
This card,
Jesus. Of Gerald McClellan's son, Jesus Christ. He's a cruiserweight. He's massive. Let me show you a picture of this.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think I've seen. Maybe Tommy Morrison's kid. I don't even know if it's this one that I've seen that's fighting.
This is Gerald McClellan's son. He looks like a member of the Bloods. With the tanks on. Let me see what else I've got. So yeah, he's fighting at cruiserweight against some unknown guy. So yeah, I'm going to watch this card tomorrow night. It's only $4.99 on the app, but if you buy it in England, it's going to cost you 18 quid. I'm not paying 18 quid to watch a bunch of nobodies.
I thought this was on the Fight TV thing. I got to check it because I got a Fight TV subscription, so I'm going to see if I can.
It'll be free for you. It'll be free. I've checked. It'll be free for you, so you don't have to pay for that.
Yeah, so I'm going to check.
And then tomorrow night we've got Mauricio Lara fighting Joe's San Martin in Mexico. This is a matchroom production.
Wait, there's another fight from last week, and I don't know if y'all gonna talk about it, but
I can't remember what it was. I know this fight.
Liam Paro against Brock Jarvis. He's knocked him out. Paro knocked out Jarvis in the first round.
Wow.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were Australian boxers too, so I think
What do you think?
Yeah.
nah, my daughter just came in the room. I think that wait, what was I saying? I'm sorry. She threw me off, yeah. Oh, Liam Paro and Brock Jarvis. I think they both Australians. They could possibly be a fight for George Kambosos on the comeback. They
That's
all
right.
around the weight class. Kambosos, he was talking prior to the fight that if he lost to Devin in the rematch, he was going to retire because he don't want to do the building back up and getting back to the top type of thing.
Well, he took a beating, so he may change his mind later. We'll see.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there could be more opportunities. Like once Haney moves up, the belts are going to be open again. He could try to fight, get another title shot.
Right.
One of those organizations is definitely going to give him a shot.
Well, fighters do change their mind. And this is what happens. Sometimes after a loss like that, they talk about retirement after a very rough fight, but he could just change his mind. It's hard because it's money. It's a lot of money for them. And I understand that. Some guys, it's the only thing they have.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you want to talk about next?
Let me just look on the list. What I've got. Mauricio Lara.
That should be a good
He's
one.
fighting this weekend.
Did we talk about Gennady Golovkin having to fight his IBF mandatory above Redondi Lara?
No, we didn't. But didn't he take a?
Yeah.
He didn't take the fight, right?
He was.
Oh yeah, I've got that here.
Before the Canelo fight, the WBA allowed him to keep that belt for the Canelo fight,
Right.
with the understanding that he had 120 days to fight Lara after the fight. But they gave him an exemption just now so he can fight Falco, which is the IBF mandatory, first. And he's supposed to. This is crazy. I don't know if this is going to happen. He has 120 days to fight Paro. The guy just said he has 120 days to fight him, Falco, and then he has 120 days after that fight to fight Lara.
That's a stiff schedule for him, isn't it?
Shouldn't really. I'm not. After that, there's the Avanasian thing. David, apparently, I hear from what you said, Terence Crawford is going to fight David Avanasian on the 10th of December, which is a terrible fight. I don't know why Avanasian can't just take some step-aside money, and then he can just wait till the fight's over. He's making money defending that European belt, isn't he, against undermatched opponents like he has been.
I mean, listen, if Bud Crawford is getting $10 million to fight Avanasian, it's hard to say no to that.
$10 million? Is that what? Jesus.
They saying it's 8 figures, and the smallest 8-figure number you can get is 10 million. So,
yeah, I figure that Avanasian is better to wait a year or so for the belts to become vacant. Because obviously Crawford will move up again, won't he, if he's successful?
I mean, if you want to go the punk ass route, yeah. But
seriously, I just think
if you want to challenge yourself, like Avanasian, I didn't know this really, but his last 6 fights he won by knockout.
Yeah, his last 5-6 fights.
Yeah, I mean, he got European names like Josh Kelly, I believe, and names like that on his record. But
yeah,
he also got Shane Mosley. He beat the legend.
Yeah, but he's also been a world champion, so he could have waited another year to win a belt against one of the weaker guys. Yeah, that's what I believe. That's just my opinion. He's improved a lot, but
I guess he could. if in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the picture, you're like, all right, will I lose to Boots Ennis or Ortiz for thousands, or could I lose to Terrence Crawford right now for $1 million or
Take
two?
the Crawford fight. You
The
can always
Crawford,
rebuild.
put my $1 million or two and call it a day. I'm expected to lose against Crawford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
But I guess he secures his future. But then he can always go back to that European gravy train, can't he? You know, winning that easy
That's
belt.
what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that title would be given up if he loses. I don't even know.
No, if he takes the fight, he has to vacate the belt. Then he can fight. Then somebody else, what the EBU is, they set someone else to fight. They have purse bids for other people to fight.
And then he could fight. And then he could fight the new EU champion once he come back from the Terrence Crawford fight.
Yeah, that definitely, I agree.
So like it ain't all the way out of the like his career ain't over taking a loss against Terrence Crawford right now, unless Terrence Crawford beat the shit out of him. But
that's very possible.
I mean, yeah, it is possible, but I don't think Terrence Crawford would like embarrass him. I think this will be a fight that Terrence Crawford will be going in to win easily and clearly, but not something where he want to embarrass the guy.
How many belts has what's his name? Has Spence got 3 belts or 2 belts? I forget.
He got 3. If they would have fought, it would have been undisputed.
So what would happen if, obviously, we don't want to see this, but if Crawford just gave the belt up and thought, right, I want to fight him now. I want to fight Spence now. Would that be an option, do you think?
He don't have to give up the belt to fight Spence. Avanasian ain't a mandatory.
He's not. Oh, I thought he was.
No, Sean Porter was a mandatory. So Bud Crawford is a super champion, so he don't even have that same mandatory schedule anyway.
Okay. So what will probably happen is between those whoever fight of those two, then Avanasian can pick up one of the belts because obviously the belts will be vacated after that.
Yeah.
Truth be told, they could fight early next year before the summertime at 147, and then they both move up and fight again, rematch at 154.
Give Avanasian an interim title fight so they can fight for an interim version of the WWE. That would for me, that would make more sense. He's one of the highest contenders.
Well, he's below Thurman, Boots, and Ortiz, but yeah, he's up there. And Stanonius. Yeah. Stanonius is another one.
Stanonis. Yeah, right. Stanonius.
Yeah, he's a good fighter.
Yeah, he's up there too. So he got all of those guys probably will get a shot at a title before Avanasian. Although Avanasian could be one of those guys' opponents for a title shot.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, is this fight signed with Avanasian?
Yeah, it's a done deal. It's on the schedule and everything. It's on the app's website. They got it up there, advertising and promoting it and all that. So
now, is this Bud's promotion? Is he promoting it himself?
It don't say like a TBC promotion or whatever his thing would be. It's just saying it's on BLK Prime. Not sure who the promoter is on record. Guess I can look that up, but I don't know how to doing other things on my phone, keeping y'all on the line. So I don't try to venture off researching stuff. But it's gonna be at the CHI Arena in Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
So like it's a hometown fight, so Bud should be able to sell out.
That would be good.
But selling out in Nebraska ain't like selling out in Vegas or selling out in New York, but it's still selling out. It's just weird that Bud chose this nondescript app to fight on. I mean, I know $10 million is a lot of money to get passed on, but it's like, is this really when you look at the picture overall, the only benefit is he getting $10 million for that.
Well, that's a big benefit. I can understand that.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a big. That ain't nothing to be like, oh, he's only getting 10 million. Why he taking? Like, yeah, the people saying that would not pass up 10 million so easily. So,
it's about money, like we said earlier. That's what it's all about.
and he said he also wanted to fight this year. Like, he wanted to get a fight on the calendar of this year, and he didn't have one. And it's possible that he needed to fight to help his lawsuit. He needed a fight this year on the calendar to help his lawsuit against Bob Arum because of whatever revenue things that he needed to have in the particulars.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It makes sense because it makes money. That's why it makes sense.
Definitely.
We got anything else, Nathan?
I'm just checking to see what's on boxing scene.
A lot going on since we spoke last. No new developments with Conor.
Yeah.
Yo, Dylan White, we talked about Deontay Wilder. Y'all seen that on Twitter? Or he was on something?
Yeah, I saw something about that.
Like talking bad about Deontay Wilder's talking to HELENUIS after the fight stuff. Talking about earlier. I mean, Wilder is a character. I don't know if he's not the brightest bulb in the box. So when he does certain things, I'm not expecting Einstein decisions here. So when he like certain things he says, it's like, yeah, I could see that because Alabama's public school system sucks. So he would think he would have those type of thoughts and stuff. Like I give him the benefit of the doubt because he's just a victim of his environment.
That's a nice way to say it.
There's something I've got to confirm here. Dillian White is going to be fighting Jermaine Franklin. It says
yeah, that's the other thing. He got to fight because it's December or November.
Let me look it up on.
I think it's November 26th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, let me have a look.
I think it's that weekend after.
Jermaine Franklin. Well, it's not a bad fight. I don't think it's a bad fight. Obviously, Jermaine Franklin's not particularly great. Didn't Jermaine Franklin lose his last fight or something to Cassius James?
He was undefeated.
What was that?
I thought Jermaine Franklin is undefeated.
I thought he was too. I didn't think he lost. Did he?
I think he is. I'm just looking it up.
I thought he won the last fight.
I think he fought. Didn't he fight Jerry Forrest or something?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
He should have lost, maybe, but he didn't.
Well, when? No, I think he did. He may have lost to Jerry Forrest.
No, I think he should have lost, but they gave him the nod because I think Franklin is undefeated still. When I looked it up,
sorry, he is. Yeah.
He's undefeated, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up because my internet's so slow. Jermaine Franklin. Give me a second. But yeah, I think this is the perfect fight for Dillian White, after that big defeat,
Yeah. It's even better for Jermaine Franklin because if he could beat Dillian White, that helps his career a lot.
We could see an upset, but I don't know. I know that he's pretty shocked now, isn't he?
Who, Dillian White or Jermaine Franklin?
Yeah, Dillian White's shocked.
He got a lot of his shell has been shattered. He's had a lot
of beat downs. He hasn't lost many fights, but he's been knocked down, a lot hurt. When he seemed to be hurt in every other fight. I think this is the perfect, fight for him. If
he's not the hardest hitter, so he might be able to survive. He might be able to survive punches from him and be able to hit
But
harder.
that left hook Dillian White's got, if he hits him with that, it's over. But I think for me, the problem with Dillian White is how is his punch resistance? You know, is it shot to pieces? Is it what?
He's had
No, we
two
just
brutal
don't know.
knockouts. He's had two brutal knockouts, the past couple of years.
So what's his punch resistance? In the last fight, his punch resistance looked gone to me. You know, completely.
No, he got hit a very strong uppercut, man.
Yeah, but
I mean, has nothing to do with punch resistance. That has to do with Tyson Fury throwing all that weight into a perfectly timed uppercut.
But Dillian never had the greatest chin anyway. You know, his chin he just improved his defense a little bit. But I think he's very hittable. You know, Dillian's very hittable.
Yeah.
Well,
he's just a tough guy too. So he was a tough guy. Like I said, he's been getting his shell might have got shattered since he got knocked down.
Well, I have to say at this point, I think Fury-Chisora's punch resistance is better than Dillian White's. To be honest,
that's saying a lot, actually.
Do you not agree with me? You not agree with me? It's had fewer lesser harder fights than Derek's had, and he's like 70 years younger, and his resistance shot is gone.
Well, that's going to happen sooner or later with most people.
Fighters, yeah.
Some people like Joe Joyce doesn't seem to have any weakness in his chin. You know, you hit him with a bat.
He started professional so late, didn't he? He started professional so late. It gave him those extra probably couple of years.
Well, he's also a very big man with a big neck.
37.
Yeah, that right there is like what he said. He's a big dude with a big neck, and it's hard to like rock his chin. Don't move that. Don't move that much.
Yeah.
Okay. In other news, let me see. Nathan Gorman is fighting Fabio Wardley. This is for I think it's for the British title or something. I'm not. Has anyone got?
Hello?
Yeah, I don't have that. I can hear you.
Yeah.
So Nathan Gorman will be fighting Fabio Wardley. This is an interesting fight.
I think so.
Because obviously Fabio Wardley hits very hard. You know, he's brutal in there. But I think he's got a bit lack of experience compared to Gorman. A lot less experience.
It could be a good one. What you got win?
He's got like 12 fights. And Gorman's got like 24 or something.
Something like that.
Now, I don't really buy into Nathan Gorman, to be honest. I think he's, had his chance.
Oh, he's a tough guy. You can never count him out.
He's very tough. I just don't think, he's Tyson Fury's cousin,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, he's coming back, and he did well his last fight, so you never know. So Fabio Wardley and him would be a good match.
Fabio's never really been tested. When he fought Eric Molina, he did get rocked quite heavily, if any of you remember watching that.
I do remember that. Yes, I do.
And he got rocked pretty heavy.
I think it'll be a decent fight. In
my
opinion.
I think Gorman
whatever it's worth. Say that?
I think Gorman might win.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a little bit on Gorman because I think he has a bit more experience, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think, he does a lot more experience.
Yeah, so, I'm going to go that route. Are you watching Showtime?
Right, guys, I'm going to end. Probably not. I'll watch it.
We got to play one.
All right, good.
Right, guys, we'll say goodbye then. We'll be back next week.
All right, take care.
All right, see you later.
Good night.
Bye.
Hello.